Hundreds of people gathered to remember Madeleine Albright, the first female U.S. Secretary of State, as her funeral takes place in Washington. And a new report warns a fifth of all reptile species face extinction, including turtles, crocodiles, and a number of venomous snakes.
Elsewhere, India struggles under the weight of an extreme heat wave as firefighters tackle flames at a huge landfill site near Delhi, which is releasing toxic fumes into the air. And the Zoom doom when you aren't together in a meeting room. A new study reveals virtual meetings limit employees' capacity for creative thinking.
The number of daily active Facebook users grew to 1.96 billion in the first 3 months of the year, according to its parent company Meta. But Meta, which also owns Instagram and WhatsApp, still reported its slowest revenue growth in at least a decade. Analysts say businesses are pulling back on advertising as they grapple with rising costs and economic uncertainty, stemming in part from the war in Ukraine. Donald Trump has appealed against a ruling that held him in contempt of court for failing to hand over documents demanded as part of an investigation into his business empire. On Monday, a judge ordered the former president to pay a fine of $10,000 a day until he complied with the subpoena. A court in Myanmar has sentenced Aung San Suu Kyi, the country's deposed civilian leader, to 5 years in jail for corruption. She was accused of accepting bribes in cash and gold. Ms. Suu Kyi has described the allegations as absurd. The case was one of several brought against her after she was forced from power by a military coup early last year. Hundreds of trade unions in Sri Lanka have called for a nationwide day-long strike, urging the government to resign following an unprecedented economic crisis. Transport, health, and banking sectors are expected to be affected due to the strike call. The government has been struggling to pay for imports due to dwindling foreign exchange reserves.
Prince Andrew has been stripped of his status as an honorary freeman of the city of York in the north of England. Local councillors voted for the decision after he paid an undisclosed sum to settle a sexual assault case in the United States. Some of them have called on the prince to relinquish his Duke of York title.